Hello, I'm Alina Augustine, final year student, Navrachana University, Vadodara, presenting the paper, The Quarantined Truth in Infodemic Era, a discourse on misinformation, disinformation, and post-truth descriptions during COVID-19 pandemic by Dr. Robi Augustine, Associate Professor and Head Journalism and Mass Communication, Navrachana University, Vadodara. Journalism and Mass Communication, Navrachana University, Vadodara. Abstract. Table of contents, introduction, review of literature, methodology, analysis, conclusion. Introduction. Coronavirus COVID-19 by WHO was identified in China on December 2019. Corona patient 0 was identified as by a 57-year-old female. Dr. Ali Fen shared on WeChat about the virus, which went viral. On 3rd January 2020, police probed and censored him for making false comments. Police detained 8 other doctors who posted about the virus on social media. Reminders from media and recalls that police would pursue anyone else who spread false rumors repeated. Dr. Ali Fen had given an interview about this, and that too was silenced by the Communist Party in China. Dr. Li, the first whistleblower, caught virus and died on 7th January 2020. His death lit demand for freedom of speech in Chinese social media platforms. Chinese government hid the truth by means of censorship, diversion, and lying. Information pandemic, infodemic. Overabundance of data makes it hard for people to find trustworthy sources. Misinformation, disinformation on medical advice, origin, infectees, exact number of deaths, etc. 2 million COVID tweets, conspiracy theories were published in January-February 2020 itself. Digital ecosystem was in chaos with many lies, of which were mainly made by US President Donald Trump. False news via social media spreads faster than virus, observes Sylvia Bryant, WHO. Examples of such disinformation: the virus cannot survive in hot weather. Consuming large quantities of ginger and garlic can prevent the virus. Misinformation, disinformation, fake news, post-truth. Disinformation is deliberately spreading false information. Misinformation is falsehood without an intent to deceive. Fake news and its variants all fall under the term post-truth. Oxford Dictionaries put post-truth as the word of the year in 2016. Operational definition of quarantined truth. Quarantine means a state of isolation. It also means to exclude, detain, or isolate someone or something for political, social, or hygiene reasons. In this paper, it means truth is related to virus is detained, hidden, falsehood was widely spread. Truth was quarantined by certain control mechanisms like censorship, diversion, lying, etc. Significance of the study. This paper focuses how media in general and social media in particular tampered the truth and created fake news leading to an infodemic. Furthermore, it is significant to find how Chinese government and officials as well as USA are strategically involved in and judicially using social media to twist the truth. Objectives. To analyze the communication strategies used by China to cover up the origin of COVID-19 and related studies. To study the information of war between US and China during COVID-19. To examine the major coronavirus misinformation, disinformation, and post-truth narrations. To find out how truth is under attack in the political scenario. Hypothesis. The fact and truth does not sell so well than the sensational lie in the modern day. Truth is mostly under attack if there is a political propaganda. Misinformation and fake news will lead to the quarantining of truth. Review of literature. These are the 4 books that were reviewed. Methodology. This paper employs content analysis to solve the mentioned research problems. It relies primarily on secondary resources gathered from news articles, ongoing researches, and information recorded by verified online sources. Analysis. Post-truth fake news definitions and interpretations. Truthiness sometimes feels like even when not backed up by facts. If mistake is not intentional, it is not proper lie but a falsehood only. Willful ignorance affirms something without verifying the correctness. Lying. When we tell a falsehood with intent to deceive. Careless indifference. To truth, one can spin the truth in their favor. Deceiver, cynical, or delusional comes under the post-truth umbrella. Post-truth can be interpreted as feelings matter more than facts. Beliefs threatened by inconvenient facts, one will challenge the facts and not the beliefs. Post-truth and propaganda. Corporate-funded lies might have started with the tobacco industry in late 1950s. Paid experts shaped fake research, spread by paid shills via paid advertising. Fake claims by US President Mr. Bush Iraq had weapons of mass destruction led to the Iraq War. Facts distorted for propagating vested interests of the political parties. US President Mr. Trump faked claims of irregularity in 2020 elections with no proofs whatsoever. Information pandemic during COVID-19. The propaganda machinery of USA and China was very active during the pandemic. This factual distortion began with the outbreak of virus. There are different conspiracy theories with regard to the origin of virus. Virus originated in Wuhan. COVID-19 spread from the wet markets of Wuhan city. Wuhan first noticed the novel coronavirus in 2019, December 29. Chinese medical doctors, scientists wrote articles on 24th January 2020. The report stated on 2nd January 2020 said that 41 patients were admitted in the hospital and had COVID-19. 800 plus cases in China, Thailand, Japan, South Korea, and the USA. Evidences state this market has been closed by city officials on January 1st. US lab-made theory. People Daily reported Japanese TV spark specs in China. COVID-19 may have originated in US. It was a reprint from Global Times, a Chinese newspaper which disappeared from internet. 300 US military members were in Wuhan for Military World Games mid-October 2019 and they infected the local population is what the paper read. Same after that, a headline by globalresearch.ca read, China's coronavirus, a shocking update. Did the virus originate in the US? Rumors started after Chinese respiratory specialist had his press conference in 2019 February. He said, though the first case of COVID-19 was discovered in China, it does not mean that it was originated from China. On March 12, the spokesperson of China's Ministry of Foreign Affairs tweeted, when did patient zero begin in US? How many people are infected? What are the names of the hospitals? It might be US Army who brought the epidemic to Wuhan. Be transparent, make public your data. US owes us an explanation. He specifically stated it developed at the Maryland Biology Laboratory as a bioweapon. Lab escape theory. A US-based social scientist states why he believes virus may have been accidentally spread by China's National Biosafety Lab in Wuhan Institute of Virology. The lab is less than 10 miles away from the market. It was first discovered. The virus may have carried out of the lab by an infected worker or crossed. Proves that a top expert in biological warfare was transferred to Wuhan Institute of Virology at the end of January to help with the efforts to contain the outbreak. Chen had been researching coronavirus since the SARS outbreak in 2003. After the 2003 SARS outbreak, the SARS-CoV virus escaped from virology labs several times in China. Mosher also does not claim that China genetically engineered the virus. Animal to human transition theory. According to a team of scientists, it originally came from wildlife. Virus's genome is 96% similar to a coronavirus found in bats. Spread via wild bats infect other animals, then spread it to humans. Ability to move between animal hosts is a feature of coronavirus. The propaganda technique of cherry picking. To slow virus, China banned entry to all foreigners. Australia's Prime Minister said, US is the country of origin for most of coronavirus cases in Australia. But he also added that this is a virus originated in China and has gone around the world, defending China. This kind of deliberate omission of fact, which is termed as cherry picking, is an often used technique to hide truth. Quarantining the truth. Let's discuss how truth was forcefully quarantined. Expulsion of journalists by superpowers. US expelled 61 Chinese journalists, limited number of Chinese citizens who can work in the US. In retaliation, China expelled American journalists and news houses. American journalists were not allowed to continue working. Silencing the whistleblowers and journalists. Dr. Lee punished by the government and forced to say his concerns as an illegal rumor. Dr. Lee got virus himself and died on February 7, 2020. The government silenced 9 doctors thereafter. Citizens, journalists in Wuhan were also silenced. Li Seguwa, former Chinese TV reporter, went missing. China's disinformation campaign. Chinese state media accounts posting in English became more active. Between the end of December to March, Chinese media published 7,000 articles on COVID-19 in English on Facebook alone. Chinese profiles were more often sharing RDs of Sputnik and Iranian Press TV and are thus taking on the existing disinformation wave. Destroying the evidence. A study reveals that Chinese social media censored words. They did a cleansing operation in Wuhan seafood market which destroyed all the possible evidences. If there was a step to seal the market and find an animal which caused it, it would have been a great breakthrough in science. Confrontation. China triggered 10 questions to America. When questioned whether China is the source of the virus, their spokesperson replied that it was the first round in China. Viruses can appear anywhere. It can appear anytime. It is not China, but America that is doing disinformation. Conclusion. Objective achieved. Communication strategies of Chinese government to cover up origins of COVID-19. The information war between US and China. How truth is under attack in the political scenario and overall the major coronavirus information, disinformation, and post-truth narrations. Hypothesis proved. The facts and truth does not sell so well than the sensational lie. Truth is mostly under attack if there is a political propaganda. Misinformation and fake news will lead to quarantining of truth. We have seen that China has its own political agenda, and for that, they are trying to twist facts and quarantining the truth. Problem solved. Not just that we allow our opinions and feelings to play a role in shaping what we think of as facts and truth, but that by doing so, we take the risk of being quarantining the truth and reality itself. Misinformation from authority would quickly divert to political propaganda, seen from the examples of Chinese authority and Mr. Donald Trump. If origins of virus had it been scientifically verified at the beginning of the outbreak from Wuhan, at first we wouldn't have witnessed this much calamity. References. Thank you.